All right, well, we're here with Kim Humphreys. It's quite a pleasure for you to travel all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. And you've started a company called BYD Cash. Now, y'all, we're here to help people, immigrants, secure their legal status to live and work in America legally, but today specifically, it's about cash, right? BYD Cash. I always think of ways to innovate for our clients internally with our team and externally to make the process smoother. And it's my pleasure to have Kim Humphreys here today. So can you tell us a little bit about why you started BYD Cash?
Yes, John, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here. We started BYD Cash because, as you know, the U.S. immigration system is very complex and it can be confusing, sometimes even scary, and it's really important to have professional legal support to go through that for the best possible outcome in your case. But that can be expensive. And what we wanted to do was help people to be able to go through that process as quickly as possible with that professional help that they need for a successful outcome without creating a financial burden for themselves or their family.
Absolutely. And, I know there's been other companies, we won't name them, but it's sometimes a difficult process in terms of timing and requirements. Can you tell us a little bit about, does a borrower have to be the person who has a social security number or a driver's license?
No, so you're right. There are a few things out there now. They're all very different, and honestly, the more choices, the better, right?
Yes.
BYD Cash is the first, we believe, immigration loan company. That's all we do is focus on immigration. And as a result, we've created an underwriting model that lets us approve about 90% of our applicants. And those are people that don't have a social security number, they don't have a credit score in the US. And that's really the market that we serve. So some of the others are also good options, but they typically would have to lend to someone else, maybe a spouse or friend or someone else, in order to approve them. So that's one kind of key difference.
Okay.
One other quick thing that we do is, it is confusing as well, and a lot of people are not used to credit or comfortable borrowing money, but in the U.S., that is how it works for most things. To get a car, to get a home, you need credit to get an apartment, get approved for an apartment, to get utilities. And so what we do is look at creating something that helps them start to learn about the U.S. financial system and get comfortable with it. So we spend a lot of time with our relationship managers helping them to understand their choices and how this works, which will only help as they look at other products and services in the U.S. down the road.
You know what, Kim, I greatly appreciate that framework there because I've always been concerned about recommending certain companies for lending because usually the interest rate is very high. But can you share, I know you can't necessarily guarantee a certain rate, or maybe you can.
We do. We
really?
have one rate for everyone and it's consistent.
Right, because you don't check credit, so that's amazing.
Right. That's right.
And even though you don't check credit, you do share educational resources so that they understand what they're signing up for.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So the idea is to help them move into the U.S. financial system to be able to access credit later on if they need to buy a car, want to buy a house, all of those things. But we have one price for everyone. Mm-hmm. It's 3% per month on the outstanding principal. So it works very much like a credit card in terms of the pricing, although it's less expensive in the long run. Mm-hmm. Because we are a fixed rate loan. When you sign up for BYD Cash, you know how much you're borrowing, you know what the total cost will be and what your monthly cost will be. And we actually let our clients choose their monthly payment. So we have a calculator that lets them plug in the loan amount mm-hmm. and then tell us what are you comfortable with paying every month. Mm-hmm. And then that will provide the term. Obviously, a lower monthly payment means a longer payment term, and in the end, that's more expensive because you're paying interest for a longer period of time. But what we do to help with that is allow our clients to take that lowest monthly rate as they're getting started. Maybe while they're going through the process, they can only afford so much. We want them to be able to successfully make those payments and start to build a positive payment history, because that's so important in the U.S. But once they get into a position where maybe they've gotten a work permit, their green card, whatever it is, and they can afford to pay a little bit more, they can either pay more every month, they can make an extra payment, or they can pay the whole thing off. And then that dramatically reduces the total cost of the loan.
Wow, that's very flexible, y'all. So there's no excuse not to connect with BYD Cash. If y'all connect with us, even if you don't hire us at Green Card Guys, that's okay. We're happy to share Kim Humphreys' company's information, because it's truly important to get people's legal status, especially in light of what's going on this year. So, you know what? And yeah, we were talking about the interest rate. A flat rate is not adjustable. I'm just thinking about loans myself with a house. And, you know, because you mentioned credit card, but even it's difficult, from my understanding, to get a personal loan from a bank.
It is.
You know, we don't have to mention bank names, but that's why, y'all, consider whichever law firm you choose, consider BYD Cash, because I know you do have the vet law firms, right? In general, of course. So do they have to go through, can they go through y'all directly, or do they have to go through the law firm and then?
So we work with approved law firms, and that's part of the service we provide to our clients. Is we are looking at the law firms. We want to make sure that these are law firms that, and we assume most are, but sometimes there are people out there that are not necessarily working in the best interest of the client.
That's true.
Maybe they're taking cases that really they shouldn't take because there's not a good case, and they're just taking that person's money.
Right.
So we really do look at the law firms that we work with, and to ensure that they are working in the best interest of the client. So we have to work through approved law firms. Now, sometimes a client will come to us directly and say, this is the firm that I want to work with. We're happy to reach out to them and talk to them. And if they want to sign up with us, we're happy to work with them.
Okay.
But we don't just work with clients off the
Okay, that makes
streets
sense.
for nobody.
Well, we appreciate Kim clarifying that for us. I was just trying to help y'all out. But, Kim, as of today, we're approved, right?
Yes, you are. You're
we've
approved,
actually
yes.
had several clients utilize your service, so thank you so much. And, in addition to like not using necessarily a bank, a traditional bank, what's the average turnaround time, it appears, as long as the client gets you all the information you need? Right.
So it can be as quick as a few days, or it can take several weeks. It really depends on the individual and how quickly they want to move. So sometimes there are cases, as you know, that it's a tight deadline, and we've got something coming up we've got to address very quickly. Those tend to move much more quickly because they have to, right? And the client is pulling their information together quickly.
Yes.
Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and that's okay. It's really up to the client. But we have relationship managers. As you know, you have a relationship manager that works with your firm and all of your clients. And they spend the time to help each client understand what they need, help them get it, what their choices are in how they want to take out the loan, what they want that term to be and that monthly payment, how to pay it off early, if that makes sense. So it really is up to the client and how quickly it can work.
Wow. BYD Cash, y'all, sounds much better than that credit card and a traditional bank for those purposes. Well, can you share a little bit about how you decide to help for the immigration cases rather than different kind of case types?
So I've been in financial services technology for a long time, and I've worked with small businesses that were having trouble getting bank loans and couldn't grow their business and couldn't afford to hire more people. We created a solution for them many years ago. And then as we were looking at how important immigration is in the U.S., it's vitally important to our economy. It's vitally important to our population growth. In fact, the U.S. population would shrink without immigration. And we thought, okay, it's getting more and more expensive to go through the process. These are generally people that don't have a credit score in the U.S. They don't have a social security number. It's very hard for them to get access to money to pay for this. Let's see if we can create something for them and use it as a stepping stone for them to be able to learn about the U.S. financial system and be able to take advantage of other types of credit facilities out there, like auto loans, small business loans, etc.
Right. Well, I can say that I'm sure many people appreciate your innovation to get this started. When did you end up have that idea, I guess?
So we started in 2021 and really started lending in 2022, early 2022. So we've been doing it about 3.5 years. We've done about 11 million in loan volume so far. And growing very quickly. But again, service is really important to us, so we try to manage that growth and really make sure we're taking care of our clients and our law firm partners.
Now, good point about law firm partners. If you're a lawyer or a law firm owner watching right now, please connect with Kim's team. They're very responsive. Oh my gosh, they're probably more responsive than we are. And
glad to hear that.
We usually have a 24-hour policy. So, and I can say from our experience that can't guarantee for y'all, right? Just like lawyers don't like to guarantee outcomes. But I remember at least one client, my team told me that there was like a 24 to 4, probably close to 48-hour turnaround time from cash into the bank account. So law firm owners, consider BYD Cash as well. Now, I'd like just to wrap up here. Thank you so much for your time. Is there one, just to put you on the spot right here, is there one fun fact you can share with us?
Oh, one fun fact. Well, I'll just tell you that the thing that makes me most proud is we get reviews from our clients, and almost every time they name the relationship manager that they worked with and talk about how that person really helped them. And to me, that is the most fulfilling thing of all. That, you know, I'm very proud of our team. And to see that we're making a difference in other people's lives, that's what's most important to me.
That's a great point. Thank you so much for sharing. Team is everything.
It is.
Customer service. All right, y'all. You have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.